Hello Stampers, Diane Evans here from Stampin' with Diane. This is another video that's in my Back to Basics series, and today I'm going to talk about a very simple technique, but a very old technique that uses an item that you probably already have in your house already, and that is bleach. This bleach is an amazing sort of thing to use, and by using bleach, what happens is and we use it with cardstock, what happens is that it does change the color of the cardstock. So first, let me say a couple of things. You must have really good ventilation in your stamping area, and also a good bleach. If you use a bleach that's been around for a while, and I might even have to change with what I've already got set up already, but if you use a bleach, not a top name bleach, you're going to get different effects than what I'm actually going to show you. So there's lots of different ways to use the bleach, but we're going to go through a couple of different ways of doing it. And it's kind of fun the way that you can play around with it. And for this particular one, I'm just going to show you what it does do with the different Stampin' Up cardstock. So let me just move this camera up, and we're just going to put it down. There we go. All right. So I'm going to use these two stamp sets today, and by using these two stamp sets, I can... you'll see what happens with the flowers. Now, another thing I do wear is I do wear an apron, and it's so important unless you want to have like bleached out clothes. So let's do this. This is a silicone mat that I'm using for some of the stuff for using it. So I want to show you. Now with the bleach, what you want to do is you would pour some into a container. You're going to end up throwing this bleach out anyways. I'll just throw it down in the toilet so that it kind of disinfects a little bit. Here I would normally use paper towel, but I found with the paper towel that I have, it's quite a paper towel that has an awful lot of texture in it. So I just use Kleenex actually in here, and I've saturated it with some bleach. And then I've got this was an old aqua pen that I've marked with bleach. And I use this one just for my bleach projects. So I've gone ahead and I've saturated that. Hopefully that's going to work enough. This, like I say, we're going to use it that way. So I want to show you different pieces of the Stampin' Up cardstock. So I've gone ahead, and this is Coastal Cabana. And it just shows you what happens. When you first do it, it doesn't look like very much is happening with it. But once you let it stay, and when you go to the other side, it gives you different colors. So this is Gray Granite. I just want to... We'll just sort of put these colors down there. This is Smoky Slate, and you can see what it's done with that. And then this is Basic Gray. So you can see it does change the color of your papers quite a bit. All right, let's show you some other colors, because I'm actually very amazed at all the different colors that it comes out with. Bermuda Bay, it just gives a bit of a blue. This is that Misty Moonlight, and this one's kind of neat because it gives you kind of a pink tone, which is kind of neat. And then, let's see, we have, this is that Cinnamon Cider, so I'll show you how it changes. And it changes quite a bit different, but see how these change. And as it dries, it changes more and more. So you're best to do like on a practice sheet to see all the different stuff. This is Early Espresso. See how more intense there, and then later there gives a different color as well. So just put that down there like that. This is Petal Pink, and this one's an interesting one. It goes white almost. And then you have See, soft suede goes to a very, very vibrant yellow, or like a mango melody color almost. Real red doesn't do too much. It kind of goes to a peachy color. This is the Mary Merlot. It kind of goes to a peachy color. This was interesting. This is the Magenta Madness, and it really almost takes the whole color out of it completely. And yellow is from this Granny Apple Green. And then this is Blushing Bride, and it goes quite white. But I think the colors that I really, really like how it showed up, and I'll take these away, is I really like how it reacts on soft suede, Crumb Cake, and also, oh, look at this one. This one's Pretty Peacock, and look at how yellow, it gives almost a yellowy chartreuse. Is that the right color? It's like a Granny Apple Green that's on there. So that would be really neat, stamped with something in the sea sort of thing. Now, one thing I will say is you're almost better to use a rubber stamp. I know that the rubber stamps don't get damaged as long as you clean them off afterwards. I do not and cannot guarantee what would happen with the photopolymer, because I haven't used photopolymer in this particular technique. Okay, so I want to bring in some soft suede, and I want you to see what happens with the soft suede. So there's different ways that you can do this. You can go direct to paper, and that's why I've got this like a stamp pad here. Now hopefully, I'd done this earlier this morning, so hopefully there's enough ink on this. And this is a direct to paper technique. So here, and you can see that it's sort of going a particular color. As that dries, what's going to happen is it's going to change color again. Now, another interesting one to do is, and we'll just put that off to the side, one is Crumb Cake. I think Crumb Cake is probably the one that makes me, I love the effect of the Crumb Cake itself. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to actually brush it. Now, I've gone ahead and I've used that Celebrate Sunflower stamp set, and I've stamped it with the Versamark, and I've done it in gold embossing powder. So let's just go and color some of that, and you'll just see the beautiful colors that happens with this. And this is such a sunflake. Just check this one out, how it's changing right there. All right, so I'm not taking too much time doing this. Now hopefully this is potent enough, because like I say, as the bleach hits into the air, the less potent it gets. But this looks like it's going to work for me. Like I say, remember to have that good ventilation in your room and protect your clothing. Protect your workstation as well. You should see what it's done. Look at this. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's taken my wood background paper and it's changed it to quite a turquoise color almost. So let's see how this is starting to change. Now, the reason I did do it with the embossing is because when you do stamp it with a memento, it'd be better with a StazOn. It does tend to take some of that color away. I actually went and I took I'll just show you that quickly. I had colored this with the blends, and I thought, oh, let's see what effect it would have, and it really washed out the colors. So just to let you see that. But see how now this is changing to a beautiful yellow. And the more we let that sit, it's going to dry and it's going to give us a different color. So let's just put that over there. Now I'm going to bring this soft suede back in and see how it's gone, and it's beautiful. You know, you could cut that out, use that on a flower. Now, another thing that you can do is take your paintbrush. Remember to dedicate a paintbrush just for the bleach. Is just go and do some splotches. And then that's going to also discolor or take the color away from there. Now, I also found, I'll show you what it does with black. Black's not that different of a thing. It's actually better if you stamp with the black. So let me just go in and we'll see how that, this did work a few years ago. It might be different. I find even with different cardstock, it's totally different as well. So we'll just leave that there and see if it does anything. Now I want to make sure that I wipe that part off. Now I thought it was rather interesting to see what the Misty Moonlight looked like. So I went and I took my prize peony flower, because of course I love that flower, and I'm just going to color the flower itself. And I did this, I embossed this with white embossing powder, and you'll see why I had to do the white on there. But it, like I say, beautiful effects that you can get. Like I say, it's totally amazing. It depends what kind of ink is in and dye. Ink is in the paper itself. Now I'm only going to do the flower on this. And at this point it looks kind of yucky, but we'll see how that turns out. See how pretty that turned out with the splotches on there? So you could even create a background with that. Now see that yellow, and check out what color it originally was, right? So it's so pretty. Now another one that I found that was really kind of a neat one was the Blushing Bride. So again, I went and I stamped the prize peony, because who can't have enough cards with that? And I did this, I embossed this in silver. Now I'm not going to color the leaves. Again, I'm just going to leave that. Now, seeming to me like maybe this is starting to lose its punch, this bleach. I'm hoping it doesn't, because this is a real pretty effect on this paper as well. I'm not taking a lot of time with it. I'm just laying the bleach on there. Not saturating it, but just laying it on there. Now you can see that's starting to really, now see, this was totally different on a sample piece. I'm not liking it, but I do like this. See how this is just taking that peony and just changing it to a different color. So we'll see how that works there. So what I want to do, and I probably should have done this ahead of time, this is the one I'm going to make a card out of today. And we can make cards out of all of these. Like I say, make sure that you do keep that bleach. Be very careful with it. This actually, when I look at my samples, it went quite pink, and this has not done that at all. I don't know why, but yeah. And see, there's a cinnamon cider. See this, see how pink it went there? Oh, it's starting to dry a little bit. I just thought it would be really pretty. But look at this one. Look at how different the color is on there. It almost goes to a white color. So I'm actually going to make a card out of that one today. So I'm going to just, I think we'll splotch it up a little bit too. bigger the dots of bleach, the bigger the splotches are. So I kind of wanted it to be fine, but I do have some big ones there. All right. And then I'm going to just leave that off to the side to let it dry. And on here, I've used Blushing Bride, and I've just used those dainty diamonds on there. And I'm just going to put this onto here. Now, one thing you have to be careful, and I don't think I checked to make sure that there was no bleach on here, because that will definitely make a difference. See how pretty that is? And it looks like I've missed some pink. But you know what? I might even just leave that like that. And I'm going to I was actually wanting to use a different ribbon on there, but I think this will work fine. We could actually cut that out too. It would be quite nice to be cut out. So let's just wrap this ribbon around here. Make sure it's the right way. Like I say, this is such a pretty technique, but everything changes. I had done this one's, I thought it'd be kind of neat to try something with the cherry cobbler, but I didn't like how yellow it went on the cherry cobbler. I think this is beautiful when it goes like this on these colors, because that's how it's meant to be. Look at this. See, it's starting to go pinker. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything with that, but oops, we do have some splotches all over the place there. Because I've used the ribbon, I want to make sure that I go down here and tape that part down, right? And then let's put this on the front of the card. What a different technique, right? Different look. Like I say, everyone will be different all the time. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on this as a sentiment. But let's just go tie a faux bow. Whoops. Now, also to let you know, I do free Zoom classes every Tuesday night. Tonight we're doing another technique. Kind of excited about this technique as well. So if you want to join, just send me a message and I'll send you the link to the Zoom class tonight. It starts at 6:30. We'll do 2 cards using the same technique. Anyways, okay. So there's my card. You know what? It needs something. So I'll just grab my bag of embellishments. And I think I'll put some pearls on there. I think pearls would be quite nice on there. So I'll just grab my... That really, I really blotched on there. Would be better if it wasn't so much, I think, anyways. Well, let's just let that go there. And remember always when you're doing embellishments on something, you always do them in odd numbers. You do them 1, 3, 5. And that just gives you more of a balance with that. So there's the card using the bleach. And then we have this. This one's still drying. This is soft suede with just the bleach. And look at the beautiful color of the sunflower on there. This was done with the crumb cake with embossing powder and just brushed on. And then this one is with the Misty Moonlight just brushed on, and it has the white. So I hope you enjoyed that technique. It is amazing. This is a technique. Like I say, this one was around, it's got to be around for over 20 years ago. Also, if you don't have a demonstrator and live in Canada, I would love to be your demonstrator. I do give away gifts every month for any online purchases. This is the hostess code, and this is good for this month. And also another thing, this is part of my Back to Basics videos. If you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll get notified every time I do a Back to Basics video, and also when I do all my other videos as well. So thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.